So for today's tutorial, what I'm gonna be showing you is how to do a ball fade with the one on the top. And I'm going to be using my Babyliss clippers to do this process. As you can see right here, what I'm doing is I'm smoothing the waves out. Usually when somebody has waves, you want to go with the grain. So as you can see, I'm using these Babyliss right here with the one guard, and I have them completely open. So I want to go over the top and make sure I smooth everything out. Going along with the grain, you want to look for the grain and make sure that you're not taking out any waves. You want to go with the wave pattern. So I'm just smoothing it out right here. And as you smooth it out, you start to take off some of the hair. You start to bring down some of the waves. And I like to bring my lever up a little bit more just to take out a little bit more bulk that's on the top. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start going and taking out some more of that bulk, bringing the waves. You wanna make the waves pop out a little bit more. So that's what I'm doing. I'm smoothing it out with the lever halfway through. I like using the levers on these Babyliss clippers because it helps you go through your progression of cutting. Now I have my wall balding clippers. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna slightly make a slight curve so that when I line it up towards the end, which you'll see later on in this video, I like to make a little curve. And I'm only doing half of the hair right now because obviously we're doing the same thing on the opposite side. So we're just gonna do this one side right now for camera purposes. And you just wanna take out all the hair with the balding clippers, get everything nice and bald. You don't have to make your lines completely straight because no ball fade, you don't want it to be too straight when you're going around and cutting the hair. You want to make it to where when you start flicking and fading it out, that everything looks like a nice clean fade. So you don't want to make it too straight, your lines. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my Babyliss trimmers and I'm gonna take out the rest of the hair that I didn't get with the balding clippers. These tend to get it a little bit more closer to the skin so that you have like an invisible fade by the time you get done with this haircut. So you just want to go up to the line that you made with the balding clippers a little bit close, not all the way to it. Like I said, you don't want to make it too perfect. You want to clean it all out. Make sure you clean out all the unnecessary hairs below the line. So that's what I'm doing right here. And then now what I want to do is I want to use my 5-star shavers, my wall 5-star shavers. And I want to, just get it real close to the skin and make it feel like a baby's butt is what I would like to say. By the time you get done using these balding clippers, the skin should feel like a baby's butt. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Osters, the 3 zeros, and I'm going to go above the balding line that I made so I can start making my blend going up. I like to fade up. Some people like to fade down, but I like to fade up. So I make a line above the balding line with the 3 zero, and then now I switch to the 4 zero, and I start to go in between those lines from the balding to the line I made above that with the 3. And then now I'm going to put my 5 zero, which is as close as you probably going to get it to the bald, so that you can kind of take out the balding line. So I like to do that and smooth it out real good. As you can see, it's taking out the line. There's no more balding line there. Now I'm bringing out my Babyliss clippers and I have them wide open. So now what I want to do is I want to start going in to make another line above the 3 zero line that I made with the Osters. And as you can see, it's starting to form another line, and we're starting to fade into the dark spot, to the dark part of the haircut, into that one that I used on the top. It's starting to blend in. So I like to go through my progressions with the levers on the side. It has 5 clicks on the side of it, 5 different levels. So I like to gradually work my way up from open to close. And that's what I'm doing right here. I'm going through my levers and I'm fading in between the lines. As you can see, it's starting to take out a lot of the bulk right now. The fade is starting to look faded. It's starting to fade in from bald into the darkness on what we have right here. It's coming out pretty good, as you can see. Starting to take the lines out, and that's what I'm doing. I'm just taking the lines out, just gradually making my way back down to the light parts of the fade as I go through my progressions on the side levers of the Babyliss clippers. Yeah, it's looking real nice. The lines are coming out. Lines are coming out. You want to kind of lift the skin up as you're taking the lines out. Just make sure you lift the skin as you're doing it, and you'll gradually see the lines starting to come out. And that's what I'm doing right here. As you can see, it's starting to blend in very nice. Brush it down, so you can see exactly what you're doing. And now I want to go back to my 3-0 just in case you see any extra leftover parts of that line from where you started to blend up. And you just want to go over the 3-0 on an angle to where you see any of those lines, and you want to take everything out. Now I'm going to go to the half guard. Now I'm going to put this half guard on these Babyliss clippers, and I'm going to start to fade up and make another line like I did when I had no guard on there and the lever was open. Now you see the half guard, the 0.5 guard was wide open. Now I'm gonna start going up. I'm fading up to the dark spots. As you can see, I'm fading and I'm brushing, making sure I have everything down so I could see where I need to blend in at. And I'm raising the lever up as I go down. I will start with it wide open, meaning the lever was all the way down. And then I'll just start gradually blending my way up as I go through my progressions and my levers, and start working my way down to the bottom of the fade. As you can see right there, I click the lever to go another notch up. You want to make sure you smooth everything out. And like I said, you know, as you're doing this, you want to start blending down, and wherever you see anything that's not blending the way you like it to, try to pull on the skin a little bit. Now I got it all the way closed, meaning the lever is all the way up to the top, as you can see. And then now I want to start taking out the bottom line. Sometimes if the bottom line doesn't come all the way out, what you want to do is you just want to take out as much as you can. And what you will end up doing is going back to the last procedure that you did so that you could try to take that line out. As you can see right here, the line isn't completely out, but I'm still smoothing everything out. So now I'm going to take that guard off. I'm going to have nothing on there because that was the last process that I did to it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have it all the way open and just raise just a little bit so I can start getting into these small little parts of where the line was. As you can see, the line is starting to disappear. That line is starting to disappear. You just want to just keep going through everything, pulling the skin and making sure that you're taking that line out. You can't have a fade that has a line in it. Not at all. Won't look right. You'll end up with a bowl cut. So go on an angle with this. As you can see, the line is going down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my next procedure, which is the 1 guard. Now I'm going against the grain. So now with this 1, I'm going up. I'm making another line, going against the grain on the side. As you can see, I'm starting to make another line below the half guard line. Above the half guard line, excuse me. Now I'm about to start raising my levers, going through my progressions again, so I can start going into the middle of those 2 lines where it's darker at and the half guard line. You see right here, I just lift the lever up just a little bit and I'm starting to go down. I'm starting to blend down into the fade. I'm just steadily blending down, going through my progressions of the levers, going from open to close. And I'm just blending in between, just blending in between. As you can see, now it's all the way closed. Now I'm going to try to take out that bottom line right now with this 1 guard on these Babyliss clippers. And it's starting to take most of it out. I still see a little bit of a line right there. I don't know if you can, but I know that I can. So you want to go back to the guard previous, which is the half. So now you want to go and you want to slightly pull your lever from open to slightly a little bit closed to between the first and second lever, and you want to go in there and start pulling on the skin and taking out that next line. As you can see, the line is starting to disappear. The fade is coming along nice. We're starting to get into the dark part of the haircut, which is on top. And I like to go on an angle so that everything doesn't look so formal. Everything isn't so formed. You want to make, when you're doing the blend, you want to make sure, that the blend looks real nice and you don't have any lines going straight across. So I like to use a little tactic like that. Now I have the 1.5 guard, and I'm going against the grain. I'm going a little bit higher. I'm going above the 1 guard progression that I had, and I'm starting to make another line. As you can see, I'm going into the top part of the fade, and I'm going through my progressions. The lever goes up, and I start blending down because I'm starting to close the clippers. The lever goes up to the middle, and I'm still blending in between as I move my way down into the bottom part of the fade. Fade is starting to look real nice. It's coming along real good, fellas and ladies. Look at this. Look at how this is coming out. It's looking very nice. I like what it's looking like right here. Brush it down, keep brushing it down so that you can see where your lines are. And that's it, you just keep going through your progressions until you start making your way all the way up into the wave part. Now I go back to my 1 because I still see a little bit of a line right there from where I started the 1.5. So I'll go to it, I'll raise my lever just slightly, and I'll start going into where I see the line at, and I start taking everything out. I start taking out the line. Now I'm taking out the line. Now that line is going and we're blending into it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the 2 guard. Now the 2 guard is basically going to blend into what I have on the top, which was the 1. If you go against the grain with the 2 onto the 1 with the grain, it starts to blend it right into each other. Now I'm going through my progressions and raising the lever as I work my way down into the light part of the fade. I'm brushing it down, and now I go back to the 1, because now what I want to do is I want to smooth out the top of the hair from the 1 to the 2. Now I'm going with the grain, and I'm getting out all the extra little bulk that I see. As I raise the lever, I'm getting closer to the bottom parts of the light fade, and I'm just smoothing it all out. I'm just smoothing the blend all out. That's what you do. You just want to smooth it all out till it looks good for your eye. Make sure you get all the hair out their face, because as you start taking the hair off, it gets in their face. And I don't know about you, but I hate hair in my face when I'm getting a haircut. So now I have my Babyliss trimmers, and now we're about to get to the part where we start lining up. So you want to comb it down, and you start looking at your angles. You want to visualize this line. As you can see, I visualize it, and I can see from his eyebrows where his hairline ends. You don't want to push it back. You just want to line it up very, very nice. Take your time with it. And then now I start to visualize this curve right here without taking anything back. And as I said earlier in the video, we started off with the bald part of it, and we started with a curve. Now when we start to line it up, you can see where that curve was at, and it just makes the fade look a little bit more better. Now to the front part, I like to start in the middle of the hair so I can see both sides, and I can see where you have a lighter part of your hair at, so that I can line everything up evenly and you're not pushing anything back. So I kind of get in front myself. Some other people do use different tactics. I like to visualize it and look at it straight forward. And I like to work my way from the middle over to the side where I put on the side part of the lineup. You want to connect them very sharp. So that's what I'm doing right here. I'm making sure I have everything sharp and everything looking nice. As you can see, when you start to define this fade and you start lining it up, it starts looking even better. Now look at that fade. Now you always want to use a brand new blade. Never use the same blade on anybody's head. You never know what the last person had before your first client, and you always use a new blade. Pull the skin. I'm using my shadow edge blade. You pull the skin and you bring the blade to the line on an angle. Never use the blade going straight up. So you pull the skin and you, on the curves, you kind of use the edge of the blade on an angle, and you just start bringing everything to the line that you made with your babyless trimmers. Pull the skin on top of the head and you start coming back towards the line. Start coming back towards the line. As you can see, there's no enhancements on this haircut, and everything still looks sharp like it was an enhancement on there. You don't need enhancements to make your haircuts look flawless. As you can see, this bald fade does look flawless. And that's it, folks. That's the bald fade with the babyless clippers, one on top, skin fade. This is an invisible skin fade. As you can see, you can't see where it was bald at going into there. If you have any more questions, just subscribe, leave a comment below, hit like, turn on the notifications, because there's going to be more tutorials coming. This is your boy, Dice the Barber, and I'm out. Peace.
Yeah.